Hi friends! I was invited to Valentine's Day dinner night with my friends, and the theme of the food is Spanish food, the food from Spain. And some of you might know, I'm a freediving spearfisher. Around this season, we catch California spiny lobsters. And when I went to Barcelona in Spain when I was 17 years old, I remember I really liked paella. So I thought about making paella with a lobster that I catch. It is also a really good recipe to know if you ever do catch and cook because any kind of seafood goes well with this recipe. I'm going to have to use some leftovers from my fridge. So I am not sure if it's 100% authentic, but I'm going to do my best to recreate the flavor from my memory. First thing first though, I am going to show you how I caught these lobsters. Okay, let's start from here. Yes, you need wetsuits, dive light, gloves, mask, lobster gauge, lobster bag, long fins, dive weights, and a knife. And yes, as you can see, we are diving at night. Alright, so we are going with Ron, Joy, and Irina. We went together yesterday night.
Hi.
Oh, he's getting lobster curd. All right. So what's the tip for lobster dive?
Get Mitsuki to get you the lobster.
That's it.
Go dive on a hungry
Point out to
stomach.
you. In a hungry stomach.
So you want to eat the lobster more.
Oh yeah, make yourself hungry. Rina, what do you think is the tip for the lobster dive?
Look for structure.
Structures.
And search in the crevices around it.
Yeah.
They're hiding.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Sometimes they're just walking on the grass though.
Sometimes.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I do
But
see
most
that.
of the time,
Sometimes
yeah.
they make like a little pile and then they just pile on top
Yeah.
of each other. And
Yeah.
then there's just a
I've
big
never seen that
pile
though
of
in real
lobster.
life. I've never seen that in real life.
Yet.
Yeah.
Yeah, when there's like a rock, this is like side view, ground, rock, and then the side here usually have a nice cave and then lobsters are there a lot of the times. Alright, let's do it.
Let's do it.
After a long ride, yes, this is where we are going to dive in. The water looking pretty clear for SoCal. However, without dive light, this place is total darkness. As you can tell, all you can see under the water at night is only where your dive light is shining at. After getting off the boat, I am making one quick dive to get little air bubbles in my wetsuits, also as a warm-up dive. During this warm-up dive, I'm looking at the rock structures, any other life activities, also how the kelps are growing. I couldn't see as much life as I want to, but the rock structure looking pretty good. I think I have to swim a little bit to get to a better spot, so I'm gonna go up to breathe up to get ready for the next dive. Here I swam into the kelp forest, and yes, this is very kelpy. But I'm going to make one dive to see if there's any other life. Water looking way murkier here, and there's a lot of strings. So this is not easy to go through, but here, I found the lobster. But this looked like undersized lobster, so I skipped grabbing it and decided to get ready for the next dive in the same spot to look around a little bit more. One thing to mention, when you are swimming up in the kelp forest, have your one arm point up above your head so that you can push the cap on the side so that your mask and snorkel doesn't get pushed down by the kelp. This is a good safety technique if you're diving in the kelp forest. Here I found the leopard shark. That's a baby one. This is a very common shark in the kelp forest in South California. And I eventually found the mama leopard shark. I was struggling because I couldn't see legal lobsters. But here, the seal came up to me, and they are actually very smart. They use diverse light for them to see and hunt fish. This seal was so cute because it was keep going forward, wait for me, and going forward, look back, wait for me, like it wanted to hang out with me. But eventually I said goodbye to the seal and kept looking for the lobsters. On this dive, here, finally. Oh! I found it. It's in the little cave. Do you see it? Like go for it. And pull them out. Very quickly. It feels like a legal lobster. On the surface, I measured the size of its carapace, and it was more than 3 1/4 inch, which means I get to keep this lobster. After a while, my dive bag started to get too heavy to swim around, so I went back to the boat to drop the lobster and to triple check the measurements. I said triple check. It's 3 times checking. It's important because at that moment you have undersized lobster in your dive bag. You can get fined. So always double check before you put the lobster in your dive bag. I went back into the water, and after a while, everybody is back in the boat. And look at this. We got a lot. And Rina got second ever lobster.
Well, one was not. Is a clicker.
She said something really important here.
One was not. Is a clicker.
Yes, you're very right. The clicker means the carapace fits exactly within the lobster gauge, and you're not allowed to keep these clicker lobsters. So she said she let the clicker lobster go and kept this lobster that is legal.
Your second lobster. Wait, so there.
And the big one, look at that. Nice.
Massive.
Biggest
That
one
should
of
be
the day.
lobster bisque.
7 of them. 7.
Oh my goodness. Good night. You think it's a good night? Yeah. Perfect.
I'm bombing you.
Yay! One of the best lobster night, to be honest. Let's get home. Let's take a shower. Thank you.
Time to go to sleep.
Yep. Finally, we are back in my kitchen. Let's start cooking. First, you need ideally paella rice, but I did not have one, so instead I'm using arborio rice this time. And some clams, chorizo, green beans, tomato puree, mini onions and garlic, some mini tomato, lemons, paprikas, black pepper, olive oil, salt, white wine, clam juice, chicken broth, and some cookie cutter, also saffron. I forgot to say smoked paprika, but yes, smoked paprika too. Most importantly, these California spiny lobster that I caught. My cat Deja Vu likes to investigate those animals that I catch. I have tried to tell her to not get on the countertops, but it's a cat. They do what they want to do. The final step of cooking is going to be at my friend's house, so let's start prepping. When you break down the lobsters, be careful, don't touch it with your naked hand. Make sure to use a Dyneema glove. When I catch lobsters, and even when I cook the lobsters, I always use this Spiapro Dyneema glove. It never allowed sharp lobster spike to poke my hand before. You can use any kind of the knife. Put the knife between the carapace and its body. These membranes are not that hard. You can puncture through pretty easy. Once you do it, twist and pull them apart. Don't throw away the head yet because we are going to use the meat left in the head for the broth. Now I'm removing these chunky legs and taking off these gills because these gills has a lot of dirt stuck, so we don't want to boil it in the process of making the broth. Don't forget to add the base of tentacles because it has a lot of meat in it too. Next, I am taking the body meat out from its head and adding the actual meat into the stock. Clean the guts out Now these are all good parts. Rinse all these parts real quickly. And now this is ready for the broth. Out. I'm going to cut in the middle like a hot dog style. Back side and the front side. Now you can easily separate the shell and the meat. Don't forget to take the intestine out as well in this step. Before cutting the meat in small chunks, I am prepping icy salt water to wash the meat without getting it watery or soggy. This step is not really necessary, but sometimes I feel like lobster can taste too sulfury or just too strong. This unpleasant flavor usually comes from this inner membrane, which is going to become the outer shell when they mold the next time. So this is basically immature shell. Also, this immature shell membrane, when it gets cooked, it becomes really chewy and tough. So it is always depends on what kind of food that I'm going to cook with the lobster and also the flavoring. But this time, I am taking the membrane off in order to achieve a cleaner lobster flavor. Followed by quick rinse with the fresh water very quickly. There's no need to soak for this step because we are just getting rid of the salt. If you soak in the fresh water too long, the meat is going to be watery and soggy, so be careful. Now this lobster meat is very clean. Until the time that I cook this lobster meat, they are kept in a container with a paper towel on the bottom to catch all the water that is dripping on the bottom. After the cleaning process, making a broth is not that difficult. Put all these clean parts in a big pot and add the water until all the parts are fully submerged. Medium heat on, and we are going to wait for about 20 minutes.
Yes.
In another pot, I am reducing some chicken stock. I added some crushed tomatoes, some white wine, just a little bit like this. And we can't forget saffron, about a pinch. But this is one expensive pinch. Added a little bit of salt and reduce this stock for a little while. On this cast iron, I put 1 cup of arborio rice, some olive oil, smoked paprika, butter, black pepper. Okay, Sony died. While I'm charging, I'm gonna use my iPhone. Alright, chop the garlic a little bit. This is a quick overview of what I'm working on right now. This is for ravioli that I'm making. Stock. I'm gonna fire this now. Another stock. Okay. In the high heat, I am kind of frying all this rice until some of it gets kind of brown. Not too much, but look at this. Some of the rice grains are getting brown. That's good enough. Let's stop the heat right here. Meanwhile, I'm waiting for the broth to be done. I am making some flowers using some paprika. Cut around the stems and take off the seeds as usual. Cut the paprika in half, and then we are making the flower shape using a cookie cutter. I ate the leftover paprika as a sambal, so don't worry about it if you ever wonder. Making the leaf shape is very easy. After cutting the green paprika in long vertical pieces, then cut them into diamond shape. I think they look good enough. This is the last thing to cut. Those are lemons. Cut them into quarters. While I was doing this and that, lobster stock looking pretty good. Not bad, not bad. I'm gonna leave the lid off and reduce a little bit. After peeling all these small onions, all the stocks were finally ready to be mixed. First, strain the lobster stock to get rid of all these chunks. Then whole jar of clam juice was added. Clean. Creamy. Damn, that's good. That's very good. That's good. And the chicken stock is also going in there. I like this orange color. This is not just from tomatoes. It is also from saffron, which adds beautiful orange color as well as floral and creamy flavor. I use 1 cup of arborio rice, so I'm adding 2 cups of the stock into the cast iron. I am not cooking this yet because that step is gonna be done at my friend's house. I'm sorry, I forgot to take the video of adding the chorizo, but yes, chorizo was added at this step. These leftover lobster pieces from the stock, they still have some good meat in it. These meat in the legs, their texture and taste are literally like crabs. Cut the near edge of the joints, then roll and press from the another joint. This is my arrange, but I put a little green Tabasco, non-spicy one, but it has really good zesty flavor, so I thought it's going to be good with paella. Okay, this is what I'm gonna bring to my friend's house. Cabbages, tomato and onion, clam, cut lemon for paella, extra lemon, ricotta cheese, chili, truffle, oil, fried sage. Actually, those are fried sage and then pasta sauce, and then ricotta cheese and truffle oil. Those are for ravioli I'm gonna make. And this is bean, lemon just in case, lobster. This is all-purpose herb. So I couldn't think of what kind of herb I'm gonna put in. And this is paella. Pre-made paella. I put cling film on top of it and secured it with a rubber band. It looked like a bad idea, but I did it before and it worked. So I'll just bring it like that, and I'm bringing these 2 seats. I'm gonna use it as a lid for my paella. I just don't have a lid, so top it off like that. Lid, right? Lid. Yeah, good enough. Alright, pack it and then let's go. I made it to my friend's house. One of them spilled a little bit, so cling film and rubber band wasn't a really good idea. Before I start cooking, I am putting all the ingredients on top of paella, clams and tomato, mini onions, flower-shaped paprikas, and its leaves. And he's like, I don't like my costume. This looks stupid. Pippa, what looks stupid? Yeah, you're cute. Hi, Lulu. Alright, leaves. Make it look cute. The lemon. Not too much. 3. Okay, lobster is on it. Now I'm putting some olive mix and some red chilies. Alright, finally, my paella is ready for the final step. I am going to cook this for about 20 minutes in medium heat with the lid on, but be careful so that paella don't get burned. The reason I cook the lemon in the paella is because cooking the lemon reduces its acidity and increases its sweetness. If you prefer sharper acidity of the lemon flavor, then just use a fresh one. It also works. This is my final product. Catch&Cook California Spiny Lobster Paella. Yes, it was delicious and it was so fun making this dish. Thank you so much for watching this video.